guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford because we're gonna do the ultimate Explorer comparison. You guys have asked for it, and we are delivering once again. We're gonna compare the outgoing 2019 Explorer XLT versus a brand new 2020, same trim level XLT. So remember that Ford Explorer, been around since 1991, has really been that mainstay in Ford's lineup for that SUV to fit your family needs. With the changes going on from 19 to 20, we'll see really if it's a bargain to get a 2019 or should you go with the all-new 2020. First off, let's start with the 2019. Styling still looks good. Even though it's going bye-bye, styling still looks good. One of the areas I think that you're gonna see the age of this Explorer are the headlights. With all that chrome shiny bit, kind of makes it look a little dated. You do have functional air curtains, fog lights, lamps down here, and a very nice, I like the charcoal metallic grille. You know me, I'm gonna zonk it. I don't like the Explorer name badge. I wish they would emboss it or just leave it alone, but I do like the body lines on the hood. Now, as we go from the 2019 to the 2020, you can see the fresh design that they went in. Here's what I was telling you about the headlights. All new headlight design. I like the way they blacked out the interior of the headlight lens. Really gives it a nice look. And I also like how they integrated the grille into the actual headlight design. You got some gloss black, some shiny chrome bits. You come your way down, you got lighting down here and a functional air curtain. So this isn't fake. It does channel air as we come across the front. I like this center open area. Really helps separate the top portion of the grille and the lower portion. This is all flat black and flat silver to help take a beating. The silver, some people like it, some people don't. I think they're trying to make it look a little bit more rugged by going with the silver trim. The front grille, I like it. I like the design. From a distance, it looks sort of like it's made out of bubbles, but when you're up close, you could really see all the intricate design work to it. As we go up onto the hood, different direction with the body lines. I think it looks very clean, but also very aggressive at the same time. Let's go ahead and check out the sides and backs of these two Explorers. All right, guys, time to take a little tour of the side of the 2019. Remember, this is an XLT trim. You can go higher up the food chain. As you come around the bend, you can see how they took the flat black around the fender. Wheels, I love the wheel, especially with the charcoal metallic. It's a 20-inch wheel. You got ventilated rotors, nice size caliper. It's got a great, one thing I like about the Explorer is the way they sit. They have a really great stance just sitting here. Now, as we go down the side, take some of that charcoal gray onto the mirror cover. Very nice touch. You got your LED turn signal. I really like the way they just black out the A-pillar, and you can see they blacked out part of the door frame to help blend that all in nicely together. Very distinctive body lines on the side, here, and then you have that charcoal gray across the bottom area. Walking towards the rear, very nice large rear quarter glass. They blended in with a little bit of clear gloss black. You got your flat black roof rails, very usable. You get the crossbars, and then out back you're gonna get a nice low roofline spoiler. More of that charcoal metallic. I'm glad that they stuck with that. Makes it really cohesive. Here's where you see a little bit more outdated with the taillights, but that is a thing. When we get to the 2020, you'll see the change. My favorite thing though is functional exhaust. Those tips are real. The exhaust fumes come out the back. I don't know why on the 2020s they decided to change that up, but this is the rear end of the 2019. Let's go check out that 2020. All right, guys, 2020, let's check it out. Remember, this is XLT trim, same thing. They stuck with the flat black. Now, if you notice, it's much wider on the 2020, has an indentation all the way around the fender treatment. 20-inch wheel. Believe it or not, this is the same exact wheel as on the 2019, but it looks so different because it's bright silver. I actually like that darker gray metallic a little bit more, but still pops very nicely with this white, especially with all the metallic in that. Touches, I like little touches. You see how they take that Explorer name, bring it into the headlight housing? Very nice. Here's where they're gonna get a zonk. What's going on here? The other one, the 2019, had the metallic gray. I would like some kind of paint or something on these mirrors. It looks a little too cheap, ABS plastic. They do still have the blacked out A-pillar, but if you notice, now we don't have blackout on the actual window frame here on the door. chrome trim across the bottom, and they stamped the Explorer badge in this black ABS plastic. Some people like the chrome trim. I'm more into the metallic gray on the other one. I do like this design right here. If you look on the 2020, I love the body line on the upper portion down the side. I also like what's going on with the roof. So you get these all new roof rails, very nicely placed, and it has a nice, yes, Rady's Rise, we're filming right now. Thank you, everybody. We have a nice low slope roof. I like what they did with the roof design. Almost same exact quarter window with that distinctive body line, and I like the gloss black here and the extension to maximize airflow. Now with the rear roof spoiler, they did change it up. You have two higher peaks on the side and a lower section in the center, and they cleared out the third brake light. I like that, that cleans it up. Tail end of the business. This chrome piece looks very sharp and strong. Explorer embossed on the actual chrome piece. As we drop down, you have some protection on the top of the bumper. What's going on here? I don't understand. I'm zonking this. I don't know if from a distance it's supposed to look like it's got quad exhaust, but it's got the exhaust tucked all the way underneath there. It is a functional tip, but it's nothing to look at. I wish they would have kept it what was on the 2019. But here are the taillight designs. The taillight design is probably one of my favorite parts on the back of the 2020 Explorer. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hoods, and see what's different. All right, guys, we got the hoods popped on these two Explorers. Let's check out the 2019. Remember, this is front wheel drive. That is where we're going with 2019. Underneath the hood, that is your standard 3.5 liter V6, 290 horsepower, 255 pound-feet of torque, has a 6-speed automatic transmission, MPGs, 17 in the city, 24 on the highway, and it weighs 4,500 pounds. What I like about the engine, you could clearly see that it's a V6, one half here, other half is gonna be on the other side. You got your intake plenum. My only zonk is that hood strut. Don't like the hood strut. What do we got going on? The 2020. You're gonna see some big differences. That is your standard engine now. It's an EcoBoost. So what you're looking at, 2.3 liter. When we say EcoBoost, what does that mean? It means turbocharged. Turbocharged power. You're looking at 10-speed automatic transmission. This is a rear-wheel drive platform. If you wanna know power numbers, it is 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. Yes, we'll get that call in a second. Thank you for reminding us. So 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, and it can tow up to 5,300 pounds. Both of them have a prop rod, so we're zonking that. The one thing that's really different besides the engine on the 2020 is the actual hood release. This has the style of a BMW where you pull twice and then you just lift. But engine compartments look great, not a lot of plastic all over the place. Let's go ahead and fire up these two Explorers and see what they sound like. All right, guys, we're starting off in the 2019 Ford Explorer XLT. If you're wondering, well, what is the price on this one? Remember, this is MSRP. Definitely give Tracy a call here at Walker Ford, because I'm telling you, rebates and incentives, they want these moved off the lot. MSRP is $44,000. Let's see what you get. To the door panels. Now, I do like the materials that are being used on that door panel. You have some nice silver trim. You have that Alcantara with the red stitching is very tasteful. The armrest is very soft, and the plastic at the top of the door panel is very soft as well. It is actually very attractive looking piece of interior. Now, as you go from the door panel to the dash, still that same soft material. I like the silver trim. Here's your, look at that nice size dual level glove box that you have. Put tons of gloves in there. And I actually am still digging this infotainment system. Got some smoke metallic gray here, sort of like on the outside. This is your 8-inch sync system. So easy to use. So easy to use. You got navigation and everything. You got all your climate controls, very nicely placed. Here are your controls for your radio. You have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. But the rest of the AC controls, nice smoke gray. You open this up by pressing the sync button. Nice little cubby in there. Really like the amount of room. You get a 12 volt and a USB. We close that down. I know you guys want to see key fobs. There's your Ford Explorer key fob, very tasteful looking key fob. I like the chrome around the cup holders. This is going to be controlling that 6-speed automatic transmission. The only thing I'm going to zonk on the shifter are the toggle switches, which you can't see if you want to manually shift. I hate it, that design. I think it's not a very good place for it. You have a little tiny container here. I don't know, I think you get one of those like cups from your dentist, like when you're done getting your teeth clean. That's where you would put that. Nice soft armrest. I wish it had red stitching though. Where's my red stitching like everywhere else? So that is a zonk on the stitching. Open it up, 12 volt, lots of usability, USB, lots of usability. And then these seats are wonderful. Alcantara, leather, red stitching, really fit your body nicely, but they're also supportive as well. That is a great touch to see in this 2019. But why don't you come over to the business end and I'll show you behind the wheel of this Explorer. All right guys, business end on the driver's side of this 2019 Explorer. Full electric seat, which is great to see. I do like that. I love the steering wheel. Nice and thick. It has nice soft leather material that's smoke gray again. The buttons are easy to use and make sense. And then the dash display right there. You have an analog speedometer in the center, and then you have 2 digital screens flanking it left and right. You could actually toggle through that left screen, get your tachometer there. That's all digital, lane keep assist and all that great stuff. But very, very comfortable. 6 feet tall. There isn't a sunroof, but you know what? I'm not really missing it. The headliner being dark, it is a little too much black material going on, but you know what? It's very comfortable, that's for sure. Let's check out the mid-row. All right, guys, mid-row time in the 2019. This one's going bye-bye. I like the seats back here. There are no captain's chair armrests, so I normally complain about the captain's chair armrest. Now I have no armrest, so see what that got me? But the seats are very comfortable. I am zonking it. I need an armrest. Something is missing here. I like the leather all the way around the seat. You got a nice felt line pocket here. Rear AC controls with a 12 volt. I'll show that off for Tom there so he could show you, and then watch, cup holders, bam, bam. Nicely done, out of the way. You do have a large hump here, obviously for the all-wheel drive models. Your AC is up in the ceiling. I don't know how you feel about that, but why don't we go ahead. Oh, seats. Before we move any further, let me go ahead and seats recline, which is very nice. And of course, they're also gonna slide. But now we're getting on to the big part. Let's go check out the third row. Guys, third row time, it's so simple. You just pull on the handle twice. The seat just folds up nicely out of the way, and it's time to get into the back seat. The one thing, first of all, you probably wanna get the headrest out of your back. Very comfortable. You know, the floor rises just a little bit, but still I don't have my knees in my mouth. And there's lots of usability for cup holders and stuff. There's just no USB or any kind of connectivity back here, which I think that's a zonk for me. But we'll find out in the 2020 if that's changed. Let's check out the cargo area and see how much room you got in this 2019 Explorer. All right, guys, time to open up the rear cargo area. You press the button. Actually pretty quick raising of that back area. And then you can see the amount of space. Easily could put a stroller back here. Or if you're playing golf or whatnot, you could put your golf clubs. If you want to know, well, how do you get these seats to fold down? It's a little bit of a, you got to just follow the steps. So step number 1 is you pull on this one and the headrest goes down. Step number 2 is going to be the red one. Now you have that down. If you want to make a nice flat floor, you're going to pull on that and this, and boom, there is your, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Now we have a totally flat 4. Obviously those front seats can fold down. My only zonk is that there's no levers back here. You got to go up there to do it. You do have a 12 volt in the back though, which is a nice touch, but I wish that they had some type of lever system to get to that mid row, but those will also lie down flat, and you can see the amount of usable space that you have in this 2019 Explorer. Let's go check out that 2020. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 all new Ford Explorer. I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, what is the price of this 2020 Explorer? MSRP is around $45,000. So we're talking about a slight increase over the 2019, but there are incentives and rebates on the 2019, not so much on the 2020. Let's see what you get. To the updated door panels. I like what they did with the tan leather on the back portion of the door, the armrest. The top portion of the door is soft material. You got some nice silver trim around the speaker cover, that tweeter cover over there. Everything else, very functional and very, you know, changed. They changed it up for the new generation. Now, when you come to the dash, same soft material. I'm liking the AC vents, a little bit of silver trim. I like this silver trim also nicely placed here. That is your standard 8-inch infotainment system. You can get an optional 10-inch horizontal. What that does allow you to have, if you go standard, is you get a nice cubby underneath here. Very curious, interesting place to put the start-stop button. One of my problems, I'm gonna zonk it right now, is some of the fit and finish in here. This gap to me seems a little large on the sides of where the silver meets this black plastic here. I'm not really the biggest fan of this setup of buttons. I don't like all this black plastic, but I like the silver trim around the knobs and the silver here. Here's your dual climate control, very nicely set up. And then I'm also liking what they did down here. So this has a nice lid. You open it up, you got USB, you got 12 volt, wonderful cubby in here, which is really nice. It closes up. You got your 2 cup holders. You got a place to put your phone. This is gonna be the rotary dial transmission for the 10-speed. This has that 10-speed automatic. You got electric e-brake, shut your auto start stop, and this one has driving modes that you could go through, which is a nice thing. Another little cubby here, softly padded armrest with the light contrast stitching. Open it up, you got a nice tray for pencils and pens and knickknacks, and then you got a nice area here for any kind of storage, plus another 12 volt, which is great. You put that back, close up, and then these seats. I'm not a big fan of tan leather seats, but they are comfortable as can be, and they look good. Obviously, you get to pick different colors of the interior that suit you and your style, but you'll notice that with the lighter headliner, it does seem much brighter in here, and these seats are definitely more comfortable than the 2019. Get over to the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel though. All right guys, business end, remember I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom. You do have full electric assist on the driver's side, which is really nice. Steering wheel, like the updated wheel, it's even more comfortable than the 2019. Very simplistic but purposeful horn button, little bit of flat black here, and then the same style buttons as the 2019. What's really changed is the dash. Now you can get an optional 12-inch fully LED screen, but this one has a nice digital display in the center. You could toggle through all sorts of information. Plus you have your analog tach and speedometer nicely placed as well, but a very comfortable place to be sitting up front. Let's go ahead and check that mid-row and see how good it is for your passengers. All right guys, mid-row time in the 2020 Explorer. Right off the bat, it's gonna get a big thumbs up. Look at that. Wider captain's chair armrest. Thank you, Ford. They feel good, they look good. You got a nice little work center here, cups. You could put a whole row of ding-dongs and ho-hos back here. I mean, you could have one hell of a trip. This is like a little party tray, a hostess party tray back here. I do like that setup. I also know that for many of the parents, you're gonna like the black plastic on the back of the seat because your kids aren't gonna scuff it up and get their sticky, fingers all over it. You have a nice command center here. Look at this, USB. You got a nice 12 volt, and this is to control the rear AC. Little cubby, if you're wondering where are the vents, now they're still in the ceiling, but they're nicely placed off to the side instead of right over your head. Seats are still going to recline and slide, which is great. That's a wonderful thing. Let's see what that third row is like. All right guys, third row on the 2020. First thing, well actually that's 11, but the first thing I want to show you is how easy it is to move the seat. A lot easier than the other one. You actually just lift up on this tab, seat goes forward. I like the 2 pieces of extra wide plastic here to put your feet, because watch, it's gonna take the beating. You get into the back. The only problem is this. Now that I'm in the back, my knees are much higher than in the 2019. So if you're gonna sit back here, try not to be 6 feet tall like myself. No USB or connectivity, but you do still have your cup holders in other places, and there's plenty of headroom, and you have your rear AC back here, so that is a big thumbs up. I just don't like sitting with my knees in my mouth. But why don't we go ahead, check out the cargo area and see what's different. All right guys, cargo time on the 2020. The button has been changed. It's actually right here. You press it, up it goes. There's our EcoBoost badge. If you notice, Good amount of space, but everything now is totally flat. There's a reason why. Watch this. Nice little storage area down there. You could even, if you don't want to go that route, you could go that route and just put something on the side. Or you could come over here and put something over here. Or you could take a both out and put something both right there. So lots of usability and versatility. If you want to know how do we put the seats down, that's going to be real easy. What you're going to do is you're going to pull just like that. Look at that. Seats drop down much better than the 2019. Headrest didn't go down. Headrest didn't go down. There we go. Much better than the 2020. I mean, excuse me, 2019. We're just screwing up things left and right here. But you can see the space now. Still a problem. There's no buttons to put down that mid row. You'll have to go and walk over there. But you can see how flat it is and much nicer compared to the 2019. And then of course, if you need to get the seats back up, it's real simple. You're just gonna pull. Look how easy that is. Watch this. This finger has a lot of power. Boom. There you go. You got a 12 volt over there, LED lighting. What else you need? I'm telling you, now let's do the job. We're gonna take both of these for a spin. Let's go do it. All right, guys, we're gonna start off in the 2019 Ford Explorer XLT. This one has the V6 on throttle. So with the 6-speed, I noticed that it does take a few seconds to drop down into gear, but once it gets going, obviously being naturally aspirated, you're gonna have where it builds that torque in, lower in the RPM range, and then carry it through. You're gonna have different driving dynamics in this 2019. Simply the fact that it's front wheel drive, let alone that it's a V6 compared to that 2020 that we're looking at, because that 2020, remember, has the EcoBoost, so that's gonna be less weight over the front of the car. Sitting inside the 2019, I do like the overall feel. Looking out the windshield, very nice view. Side mirrors are great. It's interesting because at first, I remember the first time I ever drove an Explorer, I loved the way that the door panels kind of wrapped in to meet the dash. Now it just seems a little dated after being in the 2020, just talking about the 2020, let alone we're gonna get ready to drive it soon. So that is one area that I do definitely think 2020 is gonna feel a little bit more crisp styling wise, is when it comes to the door panels and how they meet the dash area. But instrumentation is a breeze to look at. You got that nice traditional sync system that's so easy to navigate through. Got your AC controls and everything else nicely placed as well. We have our usual Florida drivers kind of just doing what they want to do, but pedal feedback is great, and the seats are comfortable. They really are. And from a look standpoint, they really look spot on with the red contrast stitching and everything. All right, guys, we're driving in this 2019, about to merge onto the highway. You know, with the visibility, it's very easy. And then of course, you know, with the V6, you get on the throttle, that 6-speed does its thing. I think though that definitely when it comes to getting through the power band, the 10-speed is gonna win hands down, but that is yet to be determined. But very smooth driving. No doubt about this Explorer. It's comfortable. You could go explore far distances and be very relaxed and comfortable after that type of drive. So that is something that definitely, when looking at the 2019, it may pay big dividends for you to go that route, because you're gonna get the bigger money savings when you look at incentives and rebates and all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, just to do a little bit quicker pace through this left-hand bend, I'm gonna go ahead and get on the brakes, tip it in. Remember, it's front-wheel drive, so it's a little bit that push that you're gonna feel in a front-wheel drive car, plus the V6. I really feel like the 2020 is just gonna handle better. And the 6-speed, the ratios are kind of further apart because you're only working with 6 gears rather than 10, but still very comfortable driving, and you do feel secure even though it is a front-wheel drive vehicle. But let's go ahead, we'll swap seats, get into the 2020 and see how that one drives. All right, guys, we're rolling out of Walker Ford, Clearwater, Florida. We're in the 2020, so we already drove the 2019. We're in the 2020 Ford Explorer. Remember, this one is rear-wheel drive with that 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine. and the 10-speed automatic transmission. I'm cruising right about 30 miles an hour on throttle, drops down, and we are off and running. Very, very smooth shifting. That's what I love about the 10-speed, is that it goes through the gears very, very clean and crisp, especially compared to the 6-speed automatic in the 2019. All those extra ratios in the box are going to be able to give you better fuel economy and just overall drivability. I'll tell you one thing, whoever designed these seats, I want to give them a big hug and a kiss, because my body feels amazing sitting in these seats. They're very soft, but they're also supportive at the same time. Usually you can't have it both like that. Usually you're either sitting on a waterbed or you're sitting on a piece of wood. This is right, happy medium, right in the center. Now you do have plastic paddles behind the steering wheel that you can manually shift the 10-speed automatic transmission, but I'm gonna probably guesstimate that not many people are gonna drive their Explorer that way. But I think one of the best things that I love about the new 2020 Explorer is the new sound deadening that they're using material to keep things quiet in the cabin, and also the fact that it's rear-wheel drive. You'll see when we get to our little favorite spot where we like to see how the handling is in a vehicle here on Rady's Rides, you'll see that this Explorer handles so much better than the outgoing 2019. All right, guys, the great thing about this new 2020 Explorer is the ease of driving. Visibility is great out the front, back is wonderful. Getting onto this highway is a snap, and it cruises so nicely. Right now we're doing 60 miles an hour, and it just, the sensation is just nice and subtle. I do like the infotainment system. I think for a standard, that 8-inch horizontal setup, very nice. We've already driven the ST. I'll put that link at the end of this video that has the 10-inch vertical screen. I think when you first see it, you're a little taken aback and you're like, what's going on there? But as you drive it, it makes sense and it looks great. The cool thing, like I showed you earlier, is you do have a nice cubby area underneath. Also with the 2020 Explorer, remember, you're getting that 360 protection from Ford with lane keep assist and blind spot monitoring and every other safety feature that is going to help keep you going and getting to your destination the way that you want to without any damage. But let's go ahead and see how she handles with that rear-wheel drive setup. On the brakes, brake pedal feels great. Tip it in, great feedback from the front. Got to yield here for some traffic, but we're going to come out of the turn here and on throttle. That EcoBoost, I'm telling you, it's such a versatile engine. It's such a versatile engine to where it builds boost at such a low RPM, which is nice, and just carries it all the way through. Remember, this is the same engine in the Ranger, in the outgoing Focus RS. So very versatile engine. With the 10-speed, it just makes perfect sense, and it's a pleasure to drive, to be honest with you. Very, very smooth. Looking out over that hood with the new body creases in it has a great look to it, and really gives you a great sight line so that when you're pulling your Explorer maybe into a parking spot or in your garage, you're able to know exactly where we are from front to back. But let's go ahead and see how she handles once again on the brakes. Really nice. Look at this. We're in an Explorer and it's handling like a dream. Very nicely done. Look at that. Super smooth. Loving it. But we're gonna go ahead. Hopefully this gave you a nice variety of what this 2020 Explorer is all about and how it differs from the 2019. We're gonna get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up. All right, guys, been an amazing time with these two Explorers. The choice is really up to you. Has Ford made enough changes to the new 2020 Explorer? Definitely. It will be, I think, an easier vehicle to live with and more versatile overall. Obviously, that 10-speed automatic transmission is a wonder and really gives you that extra performance that you want, especially being rear-wheel drive basis. If you still want to save some money though and get a great car, these 2019 Explorer SUVs, the incentives, the rebates, they're ready to move them out. You're still getting a lot of vehicle no matter which way you go. But it's really your wallet and your decision at the end. I got to thank everybody though here at Walker Ford. Frank, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Mark, Austin. Everybody here is so accommodating and just getting these vehicles for us. So thank you guys for all that you do. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on Radies Rides, click the link in the description, takes you right to Spreadshirt. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, not only getting one big SUV, but two. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.